Look, it really depends on the trade war and how high it escalates. As you noted, I think a worst-case scenario would be that the U.S. begins to put tariffs on consumer goods. So right now they've largely been on ingredient goods, and that extended very broadly to include all computing devices, including iPhones. And then obviously you run the risk of China retaliating in some form. Apple's a very high-profile company in China, and so it's possible that they could directly put tariffs on Apple phones because Apple phones are deemed to be imported within China. So ironically, Apple could face tariffs in both spots. And the question is, in both cases, Apple is a significant employer in both countries.
Yep.
And what kind of negative impact that would have in making that trade-off. And so worst case, yes, this could really escalate. Practically speaking, much tougher to say whether it could get that far.
Yeah, as you note, you said there is risk of major downside to Apple in a worst-case scenario, i.e. a full-blown trade war. Is there a way to quantify what you mean by major downside for the company or the stock?
Well, right now, the tariffs that have been passed that Apple commented on really only affect about 2% of their revenues. That's the amount of those categories that we estimate are being imported or coming into the U.S. Those businesses are bigger globally, but only about 35% of that business is domestic. So right now, it's contained. As soon as you have any kind of tariff on the broader portfolio, whether it be Macs or iPads or most importantly iPhones, that could be significant. Now, I would add, Apple is not unique. Almost all the products that are sold in the U.S. are made in China. They're competitors. So really what you're making a bet on is what's demand elasticity likely to be if Apple had to raise prices. So if there was a 10% tariff on a broader suite of Apple products, competitors would also likely face that 10% tariff. And then the question is, what's the elasticity of demand? And what percentage fewer people might buy those products in a given year because the price is higher? That's really the way to think about it. Now, in China, it could be different. If Apple is uniquely singled out by the Chinese government and either tariffed in some way or China takes action in some other way, and there are precedents for that, to upend Apple, that could be more significant,
Toni?
and importantly, that could be unique to
Toni?
Apple.